everyone. Want to know what the difference really is here between a stay-at-home order and a curfew, and in terms of enforcement. Because I mean, what are police in these jurisdictions across the province supposed to do if someone's out and about and says, "Oh, I'm going to exercise. Oh, I'm going to the grocery store." There's no way to prove that otherwise. Also, I want to point out these enforcement measures have been in place for months. New Year's Eve at Nathan Phillips Square here in Toronto, about 350 people gathered. Toronto police chose not to ticket anyone. So these measures have already been around. Why are you so confident that now enforcement is going to work, and how will it work?
Well, I'll start off before I send to the Solicitor General. I'll start off the differentiating between a curfew and a stay-at-home order. We're asking people, and we need help. Granted, I hear you. We have close to 15 million people, and we've never been strong on, and ever applying a police state. A curfew is you aren't leaving your house. Simple as that. After 8 o'clock, you see what's happening in Quebec, the streets are empty. I've never been in favor of a curfew, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I've never been in favor of a curfew, and that's a hard lockdown. Cars aren't driving around, nothing at all, because I believe in the people of Ontario. And as soon as you tell the people of Ontario you've lost trust and we're going to have police chasing you down the street when you're driving, that's it, it's game over. You might as well throw in the white flag. Everyone's been working together for the last 10, 11 months, going through tremendous strain on everyone. But the last thing I've ever believed in, is having a curfew that when you pull out of your driveway after 8 o'clock, the police are chasing down the street. I just do not believe in that. I'll pass it over to the Solicitor General.
So one of the big changes with the stay-at-home order is actually allowing and empowering provincial offences officers, most commonly bylaw enforcement officers, to also issue tickets and to disperse crowds of larger than 5 if they're not in the same household. There are many things that we can do as a government, but at the end of the day, people have to understand how serious this is and how by staying home, it will in fact save lives. That's at the core of everything we're doing. If people comply with that, if people understand how that will ultimately save their loved ones, their family members, their grandparents, then we have achieved a goal that is going to allow us to beat COVID-19 until we can get sufficient vaccines to vaccinate all Ontarians who wish to do so. Thank you.
Follow-up?
Yeah,
I
Christina.
want to ask you about reduced hours for places like grocery stores and other similar stores. Are you concerned that will just result in more people heading out and shopping during condensed store hours? Because most of these stores, like Costco, for example, already closes at 8 p.m. Someone wrote to me saying, I often go to the grocery store late so I can avoid crowds and limit my exposure to others. And they're also concerned about limited hours is not helpful to essential workers who work shifts.
Well, all retail stores and big box stores, and I want to talk again for a second about big box stores. I'm going to come down on them like an 800-pound gorilla. If they aren't following the protocols, they aren't following the guidelines, if they don't have 50% only in the stores, there's going to be consequences for them. I'm not going to mess around with these big box stores. There's a purpose. People should go in, get their stuff, and come home. Going back to what you were saying about a curfew, we aren't telling people if they have to walk their dog around the block. As Dr. Williams said, walk your dog. If you need to stretch your legs, walk around the block. All we're asking is for cooperation for the people. Please stay home. That's what we're asking for. I'll pass it over to the Minister of Health.
Well, it is really important to reduce the transmission, to reduce mobility, and the less you're out, the less you can transmit the virus or receive the virus. So that's going to be really vital for us going forward. But with respect to your question about the stores, any of the essential stores that sell groceries, pharmacies, convenience stores, gas stations, and so on, they can stay open to their regular hours. It's only the purveyors of non-essential goods that will be held to the 8 p.m. guideline and will be required to be closed by that point.